everyone, Tommy P back with another naturally obsessed look into basketball. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video. And as I always like to preface by saying, I am not a basketball expert, just a fan who's naturally obsessed. And in today's video, we are going to talk about something that has kind of been making the rounds over social media a little bit. I did a lot of research trying to find some reputable sources to kind of back up this claim. And I really only found one, and that's someone from The Athletic was talking about it. So I guess this video is mainly hypothetical, as many of them are. So before you dive into the comments saying, oh, you're crazy, that'll never happen, blah, blah, I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying if things lead to this happening, at the end of the video, I'd like to know what you think about it. So that being said, there's a lot of noise coming out of Utah right now. With Quinn Snyder stepping down, we know that there has been a lot of talk about Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert butting heads. And now with Quinn Snyder out, Utah has openly said they don't want to trade Donovan Mitchell. There's reports that Utah isn't even entertaining offers on Donovan Mitchell, even though two teams heavily linked to Donovan Mitchell that are very outspoken saying we'd love to acquire Donovan Mitchell, the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. Those calls, at least as being reported, are not being accepted and aren't being entertained. However, Rudy Gobert is a player that I don't know if you've heard anything, but I haven't heard anything, and I always research these videos to the best of my ability, so I'm not spewing nonsense intentionally, you know what I mean? So I did some research into this. I have not seen any statements from Utah saying that Rudy Gobert is not available. So that being the case, it sounds like if this is true, which I'm not saying it is, but if this is true, it sounds like you'd pick Donovan Mitchell over Rudy Gobert. And I think any sane person would, right? Rudy Gobert is a perennial defensive player of the year candidate year after year after year. And I don't think anyone's even going to come close to question how great defensively he is. But offensively, especially when you're paired with Donovan Mitchell and the skill set that he possesses, Rudy Gobert is a liability at times. And they're just not a good match together. I think they have their moments, of course. They're both great in their own way. But together, I don't think you can be successful with those two, at least. I'll throw this caveat out there, at least under the system Quinn Snyder ran. Maybe a new guy comes in and say they keep both of them. Maybe he finds a way to make them work better together. But Quinn Snyder was not that guy, and we can only go off of what we know, not what we think or speculate. So that being said, say they choose Donovan Mitchell and choose to ship out Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is making a lot of money, so that limits where you could potentially send him to. I think a lot of people, especially in the videos I've made previously about like DeAndre Ayton and sign-in trades, there was a rumor a couple weeks ago about Zach LaVine being signed and traded. I think people think way too much as to what a team's current financial situation is, and they don't think outside the box to the fact, and it is a fact, if a team wants someone bad enough, they'll find a way to make the money work. They will. So things can always be stretched out and manipulated. It's harder, I'll give you that. It's harder in the NBA, but it can be done. It definitely can be done. So this year, Rudy Gobert is going into the second year of a contract he signed, and he's going to be making approximately $38.1 million. And it's the second year of a 5-year deal. Well, technically a 4-year deal, because the 5th year is a player option. So you have that compared to other contracts around the league. It's a significant contract because I believe it was a super max that he got because of the Defensive Player of the Year award, the All NBA, All Defensive Team, and I'm trying to think if there was an All NBA selection in there, but that's neither here nor there. Regardless, though, those two defensive categories got him into the category of Supermax. He signed it, and a team that is considered right now a leading candidate to acquire Rudy Gobert, and it's the one that the source from The Athletic shared and wrote an article about, is the Chicago Bulls. So that's a team that has been talked about throughout the season, but it was very little. Primarily, it was the Dallas Mavericks that were stated to be very interested in Rudy Gobert. And as the offseason has progressed, that noise has gotten smaller and smaller. And there's been talks about this happening. So very little information on what would be offered in return except for two things. And it would need to be more than this because the money wouldn't work. But I'm hearing, and I have a few friends from around the league. They're not like in offices or anything, but basically I know some people that know some people, so I'm getting a lot of secondhand information when it comes to outside the Phoenix area. Phoenix area, I know people within the Phoenix Suns organization, but outside of Phoenix, I know some people that know some people. So information I get could be diluted sometimes, but this is just what I am hearing, that it would be a draft day trade for the number 18 overall pick, which is owned by the Chicago Bulls, and it would also need to, and logically it makes sense, include Nikola Vucevic, who's only making $22 million this year, but it's a positive for two different reasons for Utah getting a Nikola Vucevic. One, if you're moving off of Rudy Gobert, chances are you're keeping the door open for a potential rebuild. It's all going to depend on what happens with Donovan Mitchell, because there's no saying shipping Rudy Gobert out is going to make him any happier. I assume you'd hope so, and you'd like to get something back to make him happy and make the team better to try to incentivize him to stay. But there's no guarantee. Maybe his mind's made up and he wants to go. But getting a Nikola Vucevic and maybe some other young talent or different talent from Chicago, I'm not really sure what it would look like, but if they want it bad enough, they will make it work. I promise you that. And Chicago's in a very interesting situation, especially with the pending free agency of Zach LaVine. So they're in a tough bind and they've got some tough decisions to make. But needless to say, if Donovan Mitchell decides he wants to go, regardless of the outcome with Rudy Gobert, Nikola Vucevic is on an expiring deal. So if you decide and realize you have to go into rebuild mode, after next season, $22 million off of your books for you to go all in and try to get your next star player. Try, because without Rudy Gobert and without Donovan Mitchell, it's not really an attractive destination, in my humble opinion. It's really not. How Utah has formed great teams in the past through the draft. They're not really a pristine free agent destination, historically. Maybe that changes, who knows? But like I said earlier in the video, we can only go off of what we know from a historical standpoint, and that's it. But what I want to know is what you think. Say this does happen and Rudy Gobert ends up in Chicago. What do you think about them? Because I think it makes them one hell of a defensive team. Because obviously you're getting Rudy Gobert, perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Lonzo Ball, very, very good defender, DeMar DeRozan, very good defender, has some lapses here or there, but he's definitely very much above average to very, very, very good. Some might say I'm even selling him short at that point, but I don't think me saying he's very, very, very good is an insult. So those are 3 top defensive players in your starting lineup, not to mention the young talent you have around. Who knows what's going to happen with Kobe White? I don't really think you can count on him long term, even though I think there's still a lot of potential there. He's going into the last year of his rookie deal, and with Lonzo there, who knows what's going to happen with Zach LaVine. I tend to think he's out of there because of the financial situation. I know they'd probably love to keep him, but who knows at that point. But yeah, just let me know what you guys are thinking. Is Rudy a good fit in Chicago? Is he a bad fit? Do you think there's a strong chance or even a possibility that this trade happens? Do you think there's no chance this trade happens? Just let me know where you're at. Because like I said, I'm not saying I think this is going to happen or I know this is going to happen or this should happen. It's an article I found, got the brain working, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Let's see what you guys think about it. So yeah, guys, please let me know in the comments down below what you think. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.